Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Carter Family Fold. Mighty glad to see everybody out tonight to see Nothing Fancy. Now, how many of y'all are first-time visitors to the fold? It's a lot of hands. We try to capture the places you're visiting from, and I only have a few. I have Pennsylvania. If I call out where you're from, y'all raise your hand up and holler. You're all over here with Pennsylvania? Okay, and Florida? For the people from Florida, up in the middle, welcome to you guys. Now, do we have any other states that I haven't called out?
Tennessee!
Tennessee. Of course, Virginia and Tennessee. Illinois. Anywhere else? West Virginia? Georgia. Any other visitors from other states? Well, if it is your first visit to the Carter Family Fold, we hope it'll be one of many, many more to come. We've been here but now we're in our 51st year of presenting shows of bluegrass and all-time music. So we're mighty glad to have you all out, mighty glad to have you visiting us tonight. And I know that we give away a hat to the person who's traveled the furthest distance. And tonight, I think it's going to be hands down Moscow, Russia. Unless where's the friend from Moscow? Come on down and get you a hat, honey. That's from Virginia Tourism Corporation. And they want you to know that not only is Virginia for lovers, it is especially for music lovers. So you wear that back to Moscow and you tell everybody about the fine music you heard. And thank you for making that line. That is wonderful. We are so glad to have all of you here. I'm, like probably most of you, how many have seen Nothin Fancy before? Several of you. They've been around for 30 years. They've celebrated their 30th anniversary. And Kurt just called me up and we didn't know each other, but we decided we were going to ask them to come tonight. So, and I think you all are going to hear a fine show. I listened to the tuning and sound check, and they sound great. So if you like bluegrass, I think you've come to the right place. I think they're going to play you a lot of different kinds of music. They'll have music for our dancers, and they'll have some other music for you as well. And I want to say welcome to I want to thank our sponsors. And those are the Bryant Label Company, Bristol Courtyard Marriott, WETS FM, and Scott County Telecom. And if you would, give a nice hand to all the folks you see working all around, or our volunteers. I did fail to call out some groups and a happy birthday, so I'm going to do that. Where is the Agate Resources, Johnson City, Tennessee? Welcome, you guys. Glad to have you. What do you all do?
We're a pregnancy resource center in Johnson City, Tennessee.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I went to ETSU. I love Johnson City. And we love it when ETSU Bluegrass Band comes. I'm sure you heard them I'm sure you hear them over there a lot. And we have the Freedom Christian Academy from Greenville and White Pine, Tennessee. Thank you all for being here. And Brad Johnson, where's Brad Johnson? Honey, you had a birthday since last week, so happy birthday, darling. We're glad you came here to celebrate your birthday. Well, you and Debbie shared a birthday. Deb had a birthday. And we want to tell you about next week. I'm excited about next week. I haven't seen this young man either. I've just heard wonderful things about him. I think he's 17 years old, and he's already done a lot in bluegrass music. He's played the Opry, and he's played with Marty Stewart, Ricky Skaggs, I don't know how many different people. So I'm just really excited about hearing him. And he'll be here next week with his bluegrass band, Wyatt Ellis. And then on June 21st, we have a special program that we call Appalachia Rising. And that will include Jim Lauderdale as our MC, Trey Hensley and his bluegrass band. How many know Trey and know that he won a Grammy this year? Trey Hensley is a local boy that feels like he belongs to us. So I couldn't have been prouder. I was just beaming when he won that Grammy. But he's coming, and an old-time band called Hogaslaw. It couldn't be more different from Trey Hensley. But it'll be an exciting night, I can promise you that. And then on July the 26th, we have moved our annual festival, which is normally first weekend of August, because the racetrack decided to have a great big baseball game, which means there will be a hotel room, rental car, within 150 to 200 miles on the weekend of our festival when we would have had it. So it will be Friday, July the 26th, and it will feature, for Carter Family Music, Ronnie Williams and Friends, the Empty Bottle String Band, who will do our old-time part, and they'll have a lot of music for dancers. And then one of my favorite people, he's been here before as well, Dan Tominski and his band. So come on out and see Dan Tominski and all those guys, and you'll love their music. And if you get a chance to visit the museum and the cabin, they're the two buildings adjacent to us. They're both historic landmarks. The store, that's the first building, my granddad, A.P. Carter, ran as a grocery in the 40s and early 50s. And my mom decided in 1974, long after his death, to fulfill a promise she made to him that she would see that his music lived on by starting music shows in that little tiny building. And it didn't take it long to outgrow that little bitty building. That's why this big building's here. But we made it a museum, and then it went on the register, National Register for Historic Landmarks. And we actually moved the cabin from just below, well, about a mile up the road and down the road toward the river, and across this little ridge was where the cabin sat. It was my granddad A.P.'s birthplace and all of his 7 siblings. So it's got a lot of memorabilia, and I think you'd love it if you go just take a look at it. It's really sweet. So you can visit those at intermission, and if you're here and you want to go to church tomorrow, our pastor, I think, is in the kitchen. She's a Carter, and we have our home church is a mile and a fourth from the cabin, and it's Mount Vernon Historic Methodist Church. Services are at 10 a.m., and you would be welcome to visit. And there is no dress code. They would just be tickled to death to have you. So you could visit the third historic landmark and see the graves of A.P., Sarah, and the Virginia section of the Carters. The rest are in Hendersonville, Tennessee. So most of our ancestors have passed on, but we hope that this place, in another 50 years, I won't be here, but somebody will, saying, welcome to the Carter Family Fold. And we welcome you all to the Carter Family Fold. You can follow us on our webpage or on Facebook or Instagram, carterfamilyfold.org, or at Facebook and Instagram is @carterfamilyfold. So without any further ado, and if you all will, give them just the warmest Carter Family Fold welcome. Please welcome Nothin Fancy.
I just want you folks to know that I turned 60 years old last year, and I can still hold my water. I can't say about her. All right. Get her, boys! Sure. Carolina star. She works down at the factory from Monday to Friday. She's raising 2 daughters alone. Their daddy's away, she's chasing the dream, longing for the day that he'll come home. His songs down in Nashville. He's looking for kids in the Lord. He's broken all the law, but he ain't ready to come home. He wants to be another fancy bluegrass star. She can feel him beside her every night. And oh, Carolina moon, it's settling you. And the Carolina stars are shining bright. Oh, Carolina, even stars get lonesome now and then. Oh, Sounds like some of the nails are loose in their heels every once in a while. Here's some jingling and jangling up here.
Stay the change in their pocket, Mike.
Stay loose, guys. We're going to do a banjo tune for you now. I'd like to introduce this guy to you. He comes all the way from Johnson City, Tennessee. He graduated from East Tennessee State University. So proud to have him in the Nothin Fancy Band. Folks, if you will, make some noise for Jacob Flick on the band. Before you hear it's a little tune that he brought to the band, we appreciate it. One entitled to Charlie Horse Stomp. Slow it down now and feature our guitar man here. I'd like to introduce him to you. He comes from a little town near Charlottesville, Virginia. He won an award with the band a couple years ago. I'm so proud that he did. One of the finest tenor singers in bluegrass music, in my opinion, and a great guy to be around. If you will, from a town called Ruckersville, Virginia. Folks, maybe welcome Kurt Gosman on the guitar.
I can't overlook you.
here. You know, folks, Nothin Fancy has been in business. We're starting our 31st year in business. And this is the very first time that we've been on this stage. I'm so excited tonight. This is a check off on the bucket list. And it's amazing, all the talent that has been across this stage. We're proud to be on it. We would like to do a gospel number for you folks. Do you like bluegrass gospel? We love bluegrass gospel. We've got one that we just recently put into our show, and we'd like to do it for you here tonight. This is one that I wrote. It's entitled, Lord, Hear My Plea. And just give you a little break. You guys have been dancing, you need to catch your breath a little bit. And as soon as we get done with this, don't worry, we'll be putting something else out there that you can come out and shake and get loose heels on. Mighty good looking audience. You know, I always love a show like this where we can actually see the audience. You guys don't realize it, but your complexion looks really good. Are you guys eating organic food or something down here? What's going on? You trying to get a picture or a video? Did you get a picture? Well, let me get you a good one. Don't worry, buddy, we're not bashful.
That's it.
Almighty King, here I am, on my knees, for my world is dark as night, and I need your guiding light. Oh Lord, hear my plea. Well, the reason the world is trying and the devil for me, I fell to the very rock bottom, but I landed on my knees. I asked the Lord to bless me, for years time to Oh Lord, hear my plea. Oh Lord, Almighty King, here I am, on my knees. My world is dark as night, and I need your guiding light. Oh Lord, hear my plea.
Our CD table is located right over here to the side of the stage. And you know, folks, the music business has been hit pretty hard because the new automobiles are being produced without CD players, and that kind of hurt the sales of CDs. But we're one of the smartest bands in bluegrass music. We also sell used cars at this table over here. They come with a CD player in them.
You get yourself a 98 Ford Fiesta.
Actually, when we learned that the CD sales of dropping off a little bit, we added a few things to our table. We've got some glassware there. We've got collectible shot glasses. My goodness. We've got stickers. We've got canned koozies, bottle koozies, sweatshirts. We've got t-shirts. We've got tank tops. We've got trucker hats. We have bucket hats. We have a very special CD right there that's an overstock, but they're on sale for $5 each. Also, my goodness, we have something that no other bluegrass band is carrying right now. We have Nothin Fancy Chapstick. I know you folks out there are watching us up here as we sing, and you're going, my goodness, that bunch of guys have some real nice lips. That's because we use Nothin Fancy Chapstick. It comes in a nice keychain holder, and we've got them right there in all different styles for you. Check that out. Also, something that we've added to the table that I'm sure you do not have and maybe have never seen before, that is Nothin Fancy Salt and Pepper Shakers. Now, if you want a conversation piece at your dinner table, make sure you take a set of those home, because you know the neighbors and friends that you bring in for dinner are going to say, now what's up with the Nothin Fancy Salt and Pepper Shakers? And you're going to say, if you want to go see the spice of life, you need to see Nothin Fancy, and that's what that's all about. So, also we have sweatshirts over there. If you're a little chilly tonight as you leave, we'll take care of you. And again, please do check out all the products. We've got cigarette lighters there. It's got the logo on it, and you have to be 21 years old to buy one of those. And looking at the audience, I don't think we're going to have a problem with that tonight. And I mean that in the most respect. How we doing over there, young lady? You doing good? I'm talking to you at the front gate.
Hi,
How you doing?
I really am part of the band. I came in there.
All right, folks, we're going to do a song for you. This goes out to all the veterans. I know we've got veterans in the audience. I'm not going to ask you to stand up because you're relaxed. If you will, raise your hand if you're a veteran so we can give you a nice round of applause. Folks, these are our heroes. Give them a nice round of applause. Thank you for your support. We appreciate you. Here's a song for you. One titled Soldier's Letter.
But I feel your love in my heart, for I hear your voice in the
I'm sorry that we ended the song. We're going to do a fiddle tune for you now, and you got him on the floor, so we're going to keep him on the floor. I know how all this works. She was up there saying, come on, honey, let's go down. He goes, no, brother. She said, come on, let's get there. He knew when the song was going to end. He said, okay, let's go dance. I got you. I'm going to do a little, get Chris over here to do a little fiddle tune for you. One entitled Red Wing. Put it at a nice speed where these folks can show it off. All right.
This is on page 74 of the Nothing Fancy here in red.
Excuse me. There you go. It's a new one. I knew you'd love it.
Oh, come on, folks. All of you come down here. Where's Jackson? Come on, Jackson. Come on up here. spray. And the only thing I could find was hornet spray. So I asked the clerk there, I said, hey, I said, is this hornet spray good for wasps? He said, no, it'll kill them. That was common sense right there. And something else I ran into the other day, I don't know how many of you folks, I had to go shopping for toothpaste. And when you go looking for toothpaste, they got 45 different styles and kinds and flavors of toothpaste. And I read every one of them. I found, this is honest to God's truth, I found a tube of toothpaste, and it said right there on the label, it said this will remove 5 years worth of stains. I took that home and cleaned my toilet with it. Yeah, I just bought a regular tube of Crest after that, but anyway, that's enough. I just wanted to get that off my chest.
I'm so glad you shared it with the group.
We'd like to do a song for you now. This is one that's off of our latest recording. Jacob's going to sing the lead on it. I wrote the song, but he does a great job singing it. And we're going to do this for Jackson. His best friend Jackson's out here in the audience. And I've got to talk to Jackson on the phone and stuff, but I've never met him. And your voice does not match your beauty. You sounded a lot prettier on the phone. I'm just messing with you, Jackson. And here's a song for Jackson. This is one entitled, That's What Bars Are For.
Well, Friday night I'll be down at the bar again, getting back the long days, hanging with my friends, telling some stories we've all heard before. But hey, it's alright, that's what bars are for. I'll be flirting with the waitress like I always do. She'll smile and say, honey, you ain't nothing but an honorable fool. I'll tip my hat to every corner walk through the school. But hey, it's alright, that's what bars are for. It's Friday night tradition, we're just carrying on. $8 in the jukebox and we'll all sing along. And we'll cut her up, shut our stuff down on that old dance floor. But it's Friday night, it's alright, that's what bars are for. Well, Monday morning I'll be back on the job again. 12 hours a day, just busting my rear end. I'll have to hope the time to unwind and that's the rule. But hey, it's alright, that's what bars are for. It's Friday night tradition, we're just carrying on. $8 in the jukebox and we'll all sing along. And we'll cut her up, shut our stuff down on that old dance floor. But it's Friday night, it's alright, that's what bars are for. touch of your
folks. How many of y'all down here, do you ever get to see a woman ride down the road driving a Harley-Davidson motorcycle? Have you ever seen that? I live out there near Columbus, Ohio. There's a bunch of women out there driving them Harleys. I took a good close look at them the other day. These are mature women that's riding them Harleys. They can afford the insurance. I wrote a song for them. This is one entitled Grandma Bought a Hog. Kind of a catchy title, don't it?
I'll tell you what, before we get into this, I want to take a second to introduce the gentleman holding the banner for you. He mentioned a little while ago the band is in its 31st year of existence, and he has not missed a show in 31 years. We're mighty proud of that. He originally came to the band by way of the Shenandoah Valley in Timberville, Virginia, but as he mentioned, he makes his way out to towards Ohio today. We're mighty proud of him. He writes many of the songs that we perform for you. He's a mighty proud luthier himself. Built the mandolin that he's playing for you tonight, and he actually built the 5-string fiddle that Chris is playing for you tonight. He does a wonderful job with that. But he, over the 31 years, has become the most recognizable face, voice, and hair of the band, Nothin. And see, we're mighty proud of him. Would you make welcome Mike Andes?
These folks here, they know that this song is a great dance tune. So here it goes, folks. I hope you like it. One entitled Grandma Bought a Hog. My grandma went to the Harley store one Saturday afternoon, and the salesman said, "Can I help you, man? Do you need to use our restroom?" She said, "Look here, boy, I might be old, but I'll show you a thing or two. I'm here to buy a super bike, something that you love blue. Hey, Grandma bought a hog, Grandma bought a hog. Hey, think about making your Saturday mistake. She all right home, yeah." I had a girlfriend one time, her name was Edna. This woman does not remind me of her at all. Because this Edna is nice. Well, I'm so proud to be here. We're going to do this number. This features the 4-part harmony. And when we hold that harmony out, it sounds so good. We got Jacob Fleck here that's going to be singing the bass line of our harmony part. And he does a great job on that. We got Kurt here's going to be singing the tenor. And we got Chris over here that's going to be singing baritone. And we got the bass man back here that's going to be a hat rack. This is a song, we were on a cruise ship one time and the seas were rough. There's about 25-foot waves and it was rough. I mean, we were trying to stand up on stage and do our show. And I dedicated this song to the captain of the ship. This is one entitled Drifting Too Far from the Shore.
that very first song, and he was actually going to go straight into a band to right after that. I think that's probably his case. Well, let's get that coming up.
Got it.
Mike's got his hat on this set. He's not showing those flowing flops.
Folks, the reason that I broke 2 strings on that song was I want you folks to know that this is not being done with AI. This is the real deal. This day and time, you gotta be careful. You never know what you're getting. If you'll bear with me, this mandolin has never been played on stage. It's brand new. And I'm very proud of it. It's for sale. But I can't sell it until I get done with this set.
It's more valuable now, right, Mike?
Right.
I mentioned earlier on the first set that Mike builds instruments, and this is his latest one that he's actually built, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's almost like a museum piece.
It's a museum piece that's not in tune right now.
Oh, there you go, a museum piece. But I tell you, okay, well, this is a song that Mike wrote. It's a mandolin tune, and after he was done, you know, it just kind of had that Monroe sound to it. So he entitled it Memories of
Built with Love. It's kind of a tragic ballad type thing. It's in the key of E. Folks, we were great friends with the late great Tom T. Hall. He was a big fan of our band. And he wrote a couple songs for us, and we're going to do one of the songs he wrote for us for you right now. This is one that our banjo player, he came on board, he loved this song because the only thing he likes doing better than playing the banjo is fishing. This boy loves to fish. And, he got him one of those jobs where he could work from home on a laptop computer for the lake. He's figured out that he can use that laptop in his boat. And he's living life. This gentleman here, right here in the white shirt, I'm learning a lot of moves from that man. I saw him a while ago, he just started wielding his arm like that. He had a woman on his hand just real quick. I'm gonna try that out sometime. I saw it. But anyway, listen here, see if you can get is one entitled Let Me Catch a Fish, written by Tom T. Hall.
Sing for our Savior and our King. Oh, sing in
Gina, this is just the stage you're going through. And folks, something else I figured out the other day. I went to the store, I needed to get some deodorant. And deodorant's just like the toothpaste, 40 different brands of it. I had to sit there and read all the instructions, read all the different brands. I found this one deodorant. It said it was good for 72 hours. I did the math. I put deodorant on every day. So I'm gaining 48 hours each time I put this stuff on. I figured I'm only going to have to buy 10 or 12 of them. It's going to be good for 3 years. That's how I think a lot. I really do. We're going to do a song for you now. We're going to send this out to the coal mining industry. Any coal mining families here tonight? That's folks in here, coal mining, yeah. This song I wrote from that's a dangerous industry, but I know it's one that we need to have. Thank you, sir, for your family in the coal mining industry. All right, boys, ready? One time of digging coal. Life's Mysteries. Now sometimes life, it can get you down. It can pick you up. It can knock you around. It can open your eyes for you to see. And it can tie you down, or it can set you free. Now sometimes the days they can be so long, and sometimes the right things can go so wrong. And I don't know what it has to be. It's just another one of life's mystery. Pataskala, Ohio. It's about 30 miles east of Columbus. It's in between 4 cornfields. And the small town, just the other day we had a serious incident that happened in our town. Somebody broke in the sheriff's department and stole all the toilets. I called my wife this morning and she said they still don't have anything to go on. I gotta check you all every once in a while to see if you're listening to me. I can see you are. Thank you very much. We had a request for a banjo tune, and this is a good tune, and we got a good banjo man to pick it for you. One entitled "To Clinch Mountain Backstep." So if we got any backsteppers out there, Lord woman, you ain't gonna start doing a pole dance on that heater, are you? tell you what, we got that fancy smartphone down today. We stopped down here in Bristol, we got us a hotel room. And we put in the address from there to get us to here. That thing took us on a back way. You talk about a scenic drive. And I told the boys, I said, if we go back to that hotel tonight after the show, we're liable to see Bigfoot and everything on the way. There's a young lady over here, she said, Lord, I'll tell you the best way to get back to Bristol. And thank goodness we don't have to go back through that way. But right now, we're going to have Jacob come up here and sing a good old tune for you. This one, Keep With Me, did a mighty fine job. Tom T. Hall wrote this one. And Tom T. Hall wrote it. We hope you like it. What entitled Another Town?
Loving you is just a story from a fair outside it. There ain't no real life anywhere, so how do you take a picture and look up your way? Another town is somewhere in the line. Another town, another grocery store, another town, another set of swinging doors. Somehow I'm a little bit suspicious in my mind. It's another town, don't need my kind. Tell mama that she was sure that they could figure around me. That I understood it. If I put it all together, here at least that would be good. Another town is coming up, I guess. Another town, another grocery store, another town, another set of swinging doors. Somehow I'm a little bit suspicious in my mind. It's another town, you don't need my kind. As I leave you, let me leave you this thought I've seen. Maybe ain't all that long, and those little tears you cry can't kiss your wrappers all around. And a new road to another town. Another town, another grocery store, another town, another set of swinging doors. Somehow I'm a little bit suspicious in my mind. It's another town that don't need my kind. It's another town that don't need my kind.
Oh, thanks so much, folks. I had a request. Someone came to me there during the intermission and said, are you going to do that love song that you wrote? You know, at a bluegrass concert, you don't get a lot of love songs, but Nothin fancy, we try to get a love song every once in a while. This is one that I wrote a few years back. It became one of our most requested songs, and the audience here tonight looks like a nice romantic audience. So I'd like to do this love song for you, and thank you for the request. I appreciate it. This is amazing. The love song that I was getting ready to sing, there's a couple here, the Barlows. I think they're right here on the front row. They're celebrating their 56th wedding anniversary. 56 years. That's amazing. Did you guys shack up before you got married?
Family show.
You know, I would like to dedicate this love song to you folks because I believe this is how you met. I wrote the song about how you two met 56 years ago, and such a beautiful story. It gives me such honor to be able to sing it to you. Make me cry. Well, I met my baby at the Port of John line. She was looking so fine. My eyes were open when I'm on my mind. I met my baby at the Port of John line. She was standing there looking just like me. We had something in common. We both had well. I stood there pacing, trying to look cool, just waiting for my turn to stand up to the stool. Well, I met my baby at the Port of John line. I had to go, she was looking so fine. My eyes were full of well. kind of heartwarming to be known as a songwriter by writing a song about meeting a woman in the outhouse line. We're going to do one for you now. It's a little bit more serious-minded, but it's a good one. This one I wrote, it's on the latest album, I believe. Or maybe the album before that.
We'll find it for you.
Folks, in the past 31 years, Nothin Fancy has recorded 17 full-length CDs, and it's something like 217 different songs. So, if you're going to take the back road tonight to go up to the Econo Lodge up there in Bristol, or Comfort Inn, or whatever it is, it'll take you all 17 of those CDs to get there. And we'll make you a deal. If you buy each and every one of them, we'll make a deal on them. But I can guarantee you, put the first one in before you leave the parking lot. With that route, the last one will be going in as you pull into the parking lot up there. But anyway, here's a song I wrote. I hope you like it. One entitled Kentucky Bound. We're going to slow it down again before I fall over. I don't know if I did or not, but I believe I embarrassed that young lady, and I just want to apologize, ma'am, for making that crude remark about dancing on the pole. I'm sorry. I don't know if I want to hear what she's telling me.
And I dream of rose in the Spanish garden, and I kissed you as I twisted in your hair. And if I'm ever on my feet again, I will. Well, I will run all the way just to meet you there. And will I join the Southern Cavalry for fun? I have rode 1,000 horses, I've always had a way with the gun. And now I'm like the horseless rider still, swallowed up by the calls of heroes still. And I dream of rose in the Spanish garden, and I kissed you as I twisted in your hair. And if I ever on my feet again, I will run all the way just to meet you there. And I dream of rose in the Spanish garden, and I kissed you as I twisted in your hair. And if I'm ever on my feet again, I will run all the way just to meet you there. Well, I will run all the way just to meet you there.
Oh, thank you so much. Someone asked for us to do some acapella gospel numbers. We got one we'll do here for you. And again, folks, it's quite the honor to be on this stage. When we're up here, we start thinking about all the great bluegrass artists and country artists that have been on this stage. We can easily forget what we're supposed to be doing, so I'm trying not to think, but man, the legends, Johnny Cash, I think he did his last live performance here, and what a feeling to be on stage where that man has stood and singing to you folks. And I just appreciate you so much for taking time out of your busy schedules to come over here and hear a band called Nothin Fancy. I'm sure a lot of you is like, I don't know what that band's going to be with a name like that, but I'm sure to appreciate each and every one of them being here. We might be nothing fancy, but we sure are friendly, and we don't have much fun, but we make a lot of money. You make money? Whoops. Secret side of that. All right, this is one that, which is that the right key? Yes.
Oh, I'm gonna swim that river straight all the way to the other side. I'm gonna see my loved ones waiting when I cross that great divide. I wanna hear them say, Virginia, whisper, where's the pilgrim, come on home. I'm gonna swim that river of Jordan all the way to my new home. When my earthly days are over and it's time for moving on, this world can have my body, but the Lord will have my soul. And I'll have no fear of crossing that river that is so wide. Gonna swim that river of Jordan all the way to the other side. Oh, I'm gonna swim that river of Jordan all the way to the other side. I'm gonna see my loved ones waiting when I cross that great divide. I wanna hear them say, Virginia, whisper, where's the pilgrim, come on home. I'm gonna swim that river of Jordan all the way to my new home. Now when you come to the river of Jordan and you see that it's so wide, and don't be afraid, my brother, just swim it to the other side, where our Savior will be waiting for to pull us up on the shore. I'm gonna swim that river of Jordan and live forever. Oh, I'm gonna swim that river of Jordan all the way to the other side. I'm gonna see my loved ones waiting when I cross that great divide. I wanna hear them say, Virginia, whisper, where's the pilgrim, come on home. I'm gonna swim that river of Jordan all the way to my new home. I'm gonna swim that river of Jordan all the way to my new home.
We got time for two more songs, folks, and you're such a wonderful audience, we're going to do both of them. Now, these folks that are heading out early, I understand they're going to take that route that we came in on. They have to leave. Y'all be safe. Remember, there's musicians on the road tonight. How you doing, young man? Nice to see you, man. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, sometimes I got to go to the bathroom, too. We've had a wonderful time. We're going to do a song for you now that way back in the day, about 1997, something like that, 98. We used to play every Wednesday night at a little bar and restaurant. Good Lord, he had to go get a cooler. But anyway, we had to play this. We played this thing every Wednesday night. And one night on the way home, it was about 1 o'clock in the morning, I was on the way home and I wrote this song. And this is one of them songs that every time I do it, I can see the women in the audience nudging their husband and saying, listen to the words to that boy. And it does have a nice meaning to it. Yeah, I saw that guy up there, he looked at his girlfriend or wife, whatever she is, to his neighbor's wife, I don't know. But anyway, I'm just kidding. But anyway, he said, I wonder what this song's going to be about. It's entitled, If You Don't. And ladies, you might want to buy a copy of this song here at the album table, take home and play it every once in a while. And it goes like this. She's the love of your life. You made her your wife. You vowed you would have her to hold. But look at you now. You're out running wild. And she's all alone there at home. You told her
Someday she's gonna pack up and leave. Someday she's gonna pack up and leave.
Folks, again, you've been a wonderful audience. Thank you for coming out tonight to see Nothin Fancy. We will be here to merchandise the table as long as you need us to be. We invite you to check us out at nothinfancybluegrass.com. And something else that I want you folks to do, I want you to find us on Facebook. Folks, the way the business works nowadays, bluegrass music, alt music, the promoters, they don't look at the fact you've been in business for 31 years. They look at how many followers you have on your Facebook page. So help us out. Go to our Facebook page and get yourself signed in there, and please share the posts. We're constantly putting posts on our Facebook page. We'll be putting some stuff about this particular show. Check it out. Please forward it. Send it on, share it with your friends, and let's bring those numbers up so that we can get back down this way and we can stay out there on the road and maybe last for another 31 years. Who knows? I don't know. So far, how'd you like Nothin Fancy? We did a good job for you? Thank you, girls and ladies, and I appreciate you. Oh my gosh, she wants a picture, boys.
Love the bass player, love the bass player.
Are you filming a video?
She was taking a selfie. I love you, Rita, but you're not real quick on the trigger. God bless each and every one of you folks. Be safe when you drive home. We're going to do one for you that we hope comes through. It's entitled Someday We'll Meet Again. Hit it, boys!
Well, time has come to say goodbye.
Nice chatting with you. Hope to see you again here.
Give them a wonderful hand. They like to y'all want to come out and do an encore?
Oh, shucks. Danny's over.
All right, we'll go back and do one more for you. We'll do a gospel number here. This is one Hank Williams Sr. wrote this song. And after I thought that lady was going to dance on that pole, I think we should do a gospel number. Hope like this features the four-part harmony. Now people choose, they still may lie for the wealth and wine it will buy. And don't they know Judgment Day, their gold and silver will melt away. Well, I'd rather be in a deep dark grave and to know that my poor soul was saved and to live in this world in a house of gold and deny my God and do my soul. And what good is gold and silver too when your heart's not pure and your soul's not true? And sinners, hear me when I say, fall down on your knees and pray. Well, I'd rather be in a deep dark grave and to know that I
faithful neighbors, they took their hats off.